Okay, this is part 3 of quotes from the book John Mcdougall, The Doctor Who Fought for You, written by me, Pete Rogers. Okay, so this is Dr. Mcdougall quotes here. We're continuing with that. Dr. Mcdougall says, the Heimlich maneuver works, but the back slaps do not. So Heimlich maneuver is when you give the person basically a bear hug from behind. But the back slaps do not. Heimlich maneuver pushes air upward and helps to clear the airway of any ingested foreign body. Back slaps can cause the foreign body to become more deeply lodged in the airway. So Dr. Mcdougall was friends with Heimlich. You know, Heimlich is the genius doctor who figured these things out. The Heimlich maneuver. He also made the Heimlich valve for in-the-field treatment of pneumothoraces, a collapsed lung. Okay, he continues. For drowning patients, the first step is to get the water out of the lungs. The Heimlich maneuver helps to get the water out of the lungs. So he's basically saying the other stuff doesn't work so well. Okay, so always start with the Heimlich. Okay. Dr. Mcdougall, he says it's better to be hated than ignored when change is the goal. To reduce healthcare costs, all doctors and dietitians should be required to teach a starch-based diet. He's absolutely right. People would be healthy if people learn the starch-based diet, but no one does, and they'll never want that to happen because it's a total conflict of interest. If the patients get healthy, you can't make money off them. Nobody makes money off low-fat vegans, okay? Okay, Dr. Mcdougall continues. Industry foods seek unique positioning. Meat with protein gets people convinced they need protein. Dairy with calcium makes people think they need calcium for their bones. Okay? The funny thing is meat and dairy cause osteoporosis. Fish with omega-3 fats. All right? Dr. Mcdougall continues. Just say no to animal foods and oils. Oil is added to food because it gets the salt and sugar to stick to the food. Baby formula should be prescription only. All oral diabetic medications should be outlawed. That's a good one because they make people die sooner. Okay. Mcdougall continues. Hypertension should only be treated with medications after it has been sustained for months at home with blood pressures of 160 over 100 or higher. The best medication for hypertension is the diuretic chlorthalidone. Blood pressure should be lowered to no less than 140 over 90 with medication. If you overdo it on the treatment of the hypertension, you can underperfuse the brain. The reason why you have high blood pressure, the reason you have blood pressure at all is to get blood pressure to the top of your brain, your cerebral cortex, okay? And if you drop pressure too much, you're not going to get enough blood to the top of your brain. You can get periventricular abnormalities on your brain MRI. Typically we call them periventricular flare abnormalities, which means abnormal signal in the brain parenchyma due to what we refer to as small vessel atherosclerotic ischemic disease. Bottom line, not enough blood supply and brain cells die. Okay, do not take supplements. This is Dr. Mcdougall saying this. Do not take supplements. The only exception is vitamin B12. The only valid criticism of the vegan diet is the need to supplement with vitamin B12. He has a whole video about that. It's made by bacteria. You know, the fish, it's not made by the animal. The animals just have it in their body. That's why you get it from eating animal foods, but it's actually made by bacteria. Okay, the best way to determine water intake is to go by thirst. They try to block me and I run around them. Okay. And he got famous earlier before they blocked so much. Okay, let's see here. Aluminum spray deodorants are worse than roll-ons because people inhale the aluminum and it goes straight through the olfactory system, the sense of smell system, and goes right to the brain. And the brain smell system is right next to the memory center, you know, the hippocampus. And it was thought originally, there's a guy by the name of Gary Lynch from Loma Linda University. He's a great neuroscientist. And he felt that our sense of memory probably evolved, in his opinion, from lower animals like rodents and their sense of smell. Because you can associate a smell with anything. It's a very free form of memory that can work with any type of material versus, you know, touch, position, sense, all these other things in the brain are relatively, you know, specifically mapped out. They're not as open and free-ranging like the sense of smell is. Okay. Okay, Dr. Mcdougall continues. You can live on potatoes, on only potatoes and vitamin B12. That's enough. Potatoes have the highest yield per acre of any starch. Potatoes are a working man's food. Potatoes are cheap. Potatoes make people healthy. The potato pulp has about the same nutrition as the potato skin. So what he's basically saying there is you don't need to eat the skins. But a lot of people eat them anyways. The claim that our ancestors needed meat to develop a big brain is not true. That he's big on that because that's one common claim of paleo, keto, carnivore types. Dr. Mcdougall, if we eat natural plant foods, we will always, during all stages of life, get enough omega-3 fats. That's an important point too. You do not need to supplement omega-3s. He makes that very clear over and over for everybody, from child all the way through pregnant women through old people. You do not need omega-3s. Since the beginning of humans on Earth, most populations were land-bound and did not eat fish. For humans, our need for fat is very minimal. That's an important sentence. For humans, our need for fat is very minimal. Which basically he agrees with what Pritikin said. Pritikin said fat is bad. Dr. Mcdougall said fat is the biggest toxin in the Western diet. Okay, Dr. Mcdougall continues. Happiness comes from helping other people. Patients with rheumatoid arthritis or psoriasis often show improvement within 1 week of adopting the low-fat vegan diet and markedly decrease pain by 4 months when they become vegans. Coffee is not a health food. It is best to avoid it. That's an important point. Coffee is not a health food. It's best to avoid it. People love to hear good things about their bad habits. The Atkins diet is the make yourself sick diet. It makes you constipated. It increases the risk of kidney stones, osteoporosis, and a lot of other problems. Okay, and brain fog and leaky gut. The Kempner diet is the diet for the nearly dead. The Mcdougall diet is the diet for the living. The most common reason people fail when they try to eat a vegan diet is because they don't eat enough starch or because they continue to eat oils. Most chronic disease is not a mystery. It is caused by eating the wrong food. Fix the food and you fix 80% of medical problems. To cure chronic disease, the key is to stop sources of repeated injury like animal foods and oils. In order to get the cure, you must stop the cause. In order to get the cure, you must stop the cause. Okay, Dr. Mcdougall continues. The key to longevity is to increase carbohydrate intake and to decrease intake of protein and fat. There you go. The key to longevity is to increase carbohydrate intake and to decrease the intake of protein and fat. Okay, what have I been telling you? All right, it totally makes sense. Fat is bad. And of course, the worst protein is the animal protein because it's so acidic. But even excessive plant protein, there's problems with it. And I wonder if you're going to get a synergistic effect by mixing all these different plant foods to end up with having, high amounts of methionine and things that make you want to avoid animal protein. So, not a good idea. That's why, Mcdougall would recommend not eating too much beans. Okay. All right, Dr. Mcdougall, you want to lower your insulin-like growth factor. Increased insulin-like growth factor makes you look older and it makes you die sooner. That can lead to activation of mTOR and acceleration towards the Hayflick limit. Okay, Dr. Mcdougall continues. Dairy, meat, and oil cause leaky gut and autoimmune arthritis. So that's bad. Dairy, meat, and oil cause leaky gut and autoimmune arthritis. Vegetable oil is toxic to the intestinal lining. There are no benefits to eating vegetable oil or fish oil. Those are important statements. There's no benefit to eating fish oil. That's an important statement. No benefits to vegetable oil. And he means like things like olive oil as well. Vegetable oils are powerful tumor promoters. Okay, so that's it for part 3 of Dr. Mcdougall quotes.